Morning everybody. Let me know if you're there so that I know I've got this right. Okay. I'm Dr. Bridget. I'm group leader in Swansea and I'm from Dr. Bridget NLP, and thank you for joining me on 4NTV Live. So now we're going to start the 40 seconds round, or the 40 words round. Instead of 40 seconds, any of you can send me up to 40 words as a Facebook comment. This can be a brief pitch about you and your business, which everyone tuned in will be able to see. So go for it. I won't attempt to read them all out. Hi Steve, hi Sarah. But I'll try and pick out a few comments. As a tip for future weeks, prepare this ahead of time and then just paste it in as a comment at the end of each show. Okay, so it says there, put on a mask to give yourself a fun look. Don't think I'll do that. I think I'm going to put some other things on later. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. Morning, Sarah. I used to be a GP, as you're going to hear in a minute, and I'm now a neurolinguistic programming trainer and business coach. And I think that the most important thing that you have in your toolkit is actually up here. So the way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave is what gets you results. Morning, Martin. And I work with people either on an individual one-to-one basis or as a trainer in order to help you get rid of that internal negative chatter, and so that you can get the results you want, which is fab, really, really quickly as well. So let's have a few 40 word things coming up. Hi Graham. I managed to sort out the technology, so that's absolutely fab. Thanks for your help. Okay, so right now it's time for my foresight slot, which, just as for networking meetings, isn't a sales pitch, but it's an insight into a specialist field experience or interesting area of my life. My foresight is entitled Getting Out of Your Own Way. Since I put that title out in 4N, it's changed slightly and it's now known as the Bag Lady Talk as well. Which is fun and means that I might take some clothes on and off, or I might not, depending who's here. Okay, so although I can't see you today, it's great to know you're watching. Please send me comments throughout and keep hitting the like and emoji buttons. Hi Fidel, we haven't met, but great to have you on board. Okay, so I had a dream. It was about a month ago, and it was a pretty big dream, really. I think it was a Saturday night, and I was just about to give a talk the next Wednesday, I think it was, and I hadn't any idea exactly what I was going to talk about. So I thought to myself, well, I'll just go to bed and I'll dream and I'll see what happens. And I went to sleep, and my dream was a really, really bizarre dream. So I think it might have been something to do with Carolyn, who's the declutterer. I don't know if you're on here, Carolyn, a 4N member. She'd been up to my house. And, you know, I can be a little bit of a disorganised person. And in my dream, all of the papers that were around my room were sort of flying in and landing in lots of piles, and it was looking really disorganised. Then all my clothes started to fly out of the window, and then some of them flew into the bed as well. And before I knew where I was, I turned into a bag lady. Now, I don't know about you, but you know, I'm really keen on thinking about what my unconscious mind is saying to me. So I take some notice of that, and I thought, yeah, a bag lady, that sounds about right. So I've got my props with me today. I'm just going to mess my hair up a little bit. my hat on. I've just got the one slipper today that I'm going to put that on. And, oh, the most important thing. Now, you may think this is actually a nice white wine, but actually it's vodka. So, I'm B. In fact, I don't really know why I call myself B, because no one listens to me. I haven't got any friends. You know, I don't know about you, but I just, you know, most people who sort of live out here with me don't feel they're worth it, and I certainly don't feel I'm worth it, so I just carry on drinking. I used to have a dog. Take that off because it's a bit warm in here. I used to have a dog. Even he's left. He left his lead, went off with his friend. Pissed all over my leg, pardon my language, before he left. And he's just gone. So I'm here, sitting here all on my own. I don't feel worthy. I don't feel good enough. I don't feel, in fact, I don't feel anything. Just going to sit here and carry on drinking. But it wasn't always like this. So, hey, I used to be a medical director. I don't know if you know that. I used to be a GP. And people used to come and see me. I was highly respected. People used to want to come and see me rather than anyone else. I used to enjoy my work. And, you know, I knew where I was and what I was doing. And it was just brilliant. Highly respected and full of confidence. But here's the thing, I wasn't actually very happy there, even though I was respected and had loads of confidence, because I was actually, you know, not ticking my values, as I call them. So I went into general practice because I wanted to help people. I wanted to look after my patients, and gradually over the years the health service just sort of had targets. You could only see people for 10 minutes, and I just wasn't happy. My values are having fun, helping other people to develop, and also to, you know, just develop myself and have lots of clarity. And I was losing that. So I thought to myself, well, what am I doing here? Interestingly, I had some coaching when I was a medical director, because I was looking after clinical governance for 2 days a week. I was looking after general practice, optometry, dentistry, pharmacy, and it was a hard job. So we had some coaching, which was brilliant. Looking back, it was some NLP coaching, and it just totally changed my life. And I thought to myself, what am I doing here? What am I doing? You know, am I happy? What's going on in the rest of my life? Because I hadn't really thought about that before. And I decided in the end to sort my life out, to, you know, I decided I wasn't happy in my marriage, so I sorted that out. I left being a medical director, went back into general practice. Again, still highly respected and happier, but still not ticking my values. And I thought, well, what shall I do? So I left. I took early retirement and, you know, decided to find a second husband. So Rick's up in the house, and very happy with him. And I thought, well, what shall I do? And I thought, I know what's made the difference to me, and it was the coaching. And it just made such a huge difference. I thought I'll go and retrain in coaching. So I went off to a coaching course. I then discovered NLP, which is a brilliant tool which adds to coaching and just gives you a totally different way of looking at things. And it's, you know, it was brilliant. And so I'd left general practice. I was sitting in my office, and I do remember it to this day. I was sitting there, I think I was sitting in front of my computer screen, and I was I'm trying to do a Vistaprint website. I don't know if any of you've done Vistaprint websites. I couldn't even do that. I didn't know what to do for my business cards. I didn't know what to do. You know, when I went networking, in fact, I actually went, sorry, I'm just looking at that. Graham told me not to look at the comments, but I am. So, yeah, I was pretty miserable. I was sitting there and I was thinking about Rick up in the house, because he was retired, and I was thinking, what am I going to do? You know, if I do all this and I get so stressed, is he going to leave? You know, because I was really happy. So I was worried about, you know, whether there was success was going to be too hard, but it was something that I really wanted to do. My mum couldn't understand what I'd done, so, you know, here I was, I'd had that amazing job. I was a medical director, highly respected, fully confident, lots of stuff to talk to people about what I was doing, and then I'm doing this strange thing called NLP, and she didn't understand it at all. And yeah, so what I started to do in all of that was to start to lose my confidence, start to lose my purpose, start to lose why I was actually doing what I was doing. And do you know what? I don't think it actually really started there. I think, thinking about it, when I was 3, way back over there, I went on a train with my mum to London, and I distinctly remember my sister saying, well, if you go on a train to London without me, I'm going to knock all your bricks over. So I worried about that all the way up on the train and thought, was it worth coming? Then when I was 7, my sister bit me in the playground. Luckily she's not a member of 4Ns, so I don't think she'd be watching this, but interestingly enough, I talked to her about it a couple of weeks ago, and she did. I thought I'd made it up, but she bit me in the playground. I told my mum, and my mum didn't believe me, and it all sort of started to go a bit wrong. I said, yeah, that is what happened, and it just went totally wrong, and it was a pretty big time of my life, not particularly, you know, as bad as some people's sort of memories. Then when I was 11, I passed my 11 plus. It was fab. 2 years later, my sister didn't, and I still remember, I must have been about 14 or 15 and had passed some exam or something, and my dad said to me, hey, you know, don't say how good you've been, you know, don't say that you've had an amazing result, because, you know, it's, you know, your sister will get upset about it. So, you know, adding all those things up, they weren't huge, and a few other things happened as well. Then when I gave up my medical director and GP job and took retirement and was sitting there with my Vistaprint website and planning what I was going to say, I think I was going to talk in a BNI meeting, and I distinctly remember in that meeting I sort of stood up, I opened my mouth, and nothing came out because I couldn't really say how good I was. I couldn't, you know, sort of say, you know, shine, if you like. And yeah, so putting all that together, the sort of difficulties, networking, you know, the not being able to say how good I was, worrying about whether success was going to be, you know, too much for me, was my husband going to leave, things like that. I started to actually go in a bit of a downward spiral. And, you know, if I was completely honest, I had a fear. I had fear of success. I had a fear of failure. I started to doubt myself. Was I good enough? I knew I was good enough as a doctor. Was I good enough as a coach? You know, where were all these people that were supposed to be coming to me? I used to when I was a GP. And it just, you know, it just was rubbish, really. And I started to go down in one of those downward spirals that, you know, you quite often hear about people going. And then, you know, that's when I ended up as the bag lady, so it's another opportunity to have a little drink again and just make sure I've got all my stuff. And there I was, you know, being B, not worthy, not good enough. Probably an alcoholic. And then someone passed by and they said to me they asked me a really interesting question, and they said, Bridget, or B, who do you have to become in order to be happy in your life? Who do you have to become? What do you have to do? And she handed me a book. And that book, I don't know if you want to write this down, but that book was called The Big Leap. And it's by someone called Gay Hendricks. And, you know, I managed to find some glasses, patched them up, looking a bit like, what's his name, in Coronation Street. I opened the book and I started to read it. And it just totally changed my life. And just that one question, you know, sometimes people ask you questions and it changes your life. And that started to change my life. So I took off my slippers, or the slipper, because I'd lost one. I think the dog ran off with it. I decided, you know, I was going to pour away my vodka, and I got up and I decided I was going to just do what I needed to do to be myself. And I threw away my fear. I threw away my fear of success, my fear of failure. I decided, yeah, I was good enough, really good enough. And I got some support around me, because one of the things I didn't tell you was that on my downward spiral, when I was going over here, heading for my bag lady, I sort of felt that there was no one with me. Like, I couldn't talk to my husband about it. He didn't really understand. It was all just purely a perception on my part. My mum certainly didn't understand what I was doing, and still thinks, why did she leave where she was? And, you know, all my friends had disappeared even when I was a bag lady. And I think one of the really, really important things that you need to do when you're in business and you're pushing upwards is to get that support around you. So I've got a lot of good support. I don't know if you're still there, Martin Thomas. Martin is a great support to me as an area leader and as a friend. I've talked to my husband. I've told my husband what I do and why I do it. I've said, you know, I'm really determined to make this business work, and he's fully on board with me now. And, you know, I just pushed on up and pushed through the glass ceiling. And really, I wanted to talk to you about The Big Leap, because that was the book that was so inspirational to me. And if you actually get it on Kindle or get it, and you know, it's a really important book. It talks about your zones. So you've got a zone of incompetence where you don't know what you're doing. So there was me on my Vistaprints. You got your zone of competence where you actually know what you're doing, but it's you know, you're still doing the things you shouldn't do. Probably I haven't delegated things out. Then you get your zone of excellence where you know, you're earning quite a bit of money, you got a nice car, you got nice holidays, but it's sort of like everyone knows what you're doing, and it just, in the end, I think Gay Hendricks says you just sort of want to curl up and die, because it's actually a bit boring and you're not doing anything, you're not really living in your flow, really doing what you really want to do. And that's when you get into your zone of genius, and the whole book is about how you get from one zone to the others. And he says that in this book that there are 4 things that actually stop us from pushing through that glass ceiling, whether it's between this zone, that, or into your zone of genius, which is what I'm pushing through now, and I hope you are all as well. And he says the things that stop you from doing that are the fear of the feeling that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that you know, you just can't do it, and it's an internal feeling. So no matter what people say, that you say that you're really good at what you do, you feel that you're not good enough. I was at a show in Ross the other day speaking, and lots of people came up to me afterwards and said, yeah, that's the problem, I don't really think I'm good enough. The next one is the fear of success, so that success is too hard. So there I was with Rick up in the house, retired, and here I was down with my Vistaprint. You know, was it worth it? What could, you know, what was my life going to be like if I really pushed through and did it? And luckily I did, and it's totally amazing. Then there's the crime of outshining, is what he calls it. So outshining is where perhaps, you know, you come from a background and people like you just don't do this sort of thing, so you don't have a successful business. Who is he or she driving around in their nice car and going on all these holidays and earning all that money? Or, you know, look at them, that sort of thing. And that stops a lot of people. And the other thing then is sort of going against your how you've been brought up, I guess, you know. So like your parents, your you know, your friends' model of the world, if you like. So yeah, it's and that stops people as well. And you know, those are the 4 things that can stop you from pushing through and, you know, getting to your zone of genius. And, you know, my journey from when I was born to 3 to 7 to 11 plus to the downward spiral, becoming a bag lady, and then sort of going up again. It's something that a lot of people do, and I just thought I'd share why people do that and why I did it and how I've pushed through in order to get where I am today, and to be able to be sitting here talking to you, even though it's been technologically challenging. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm going to do more of it. So that's me. So I'm just going to have a little look and see what I need to say. Oh yeah, so okay, my time's just about up. So I'm a little bit early saying that. So, but thank you for watching my foresight. It's great to see all the comments coming in. I'm going to get back in touch with you all. You know, I think 4N's a totally amazing community, and thanks everyone for watching my story. And I just want to get in contact with you and make you part of my sort of people, my support team as well, and I'd like to be part of yours. I haven't had a chance to look at the comments properly yet. I've seen a few bits and pieces which, as Graham said, have distracted me, but a bit of self-sabotage there. But I will reply on the page to any questions that have been raised, and feel free to get in touch with me on my website, which by the way is www.onelife-lifecoaching.co.uk. And yeah, so let's have a think. All right, so 4N TV Live is back here at the same time next week, 8:30 AM on Saturday. That's the 8th of July. Gosh, didn't time fly? I mean, it doesn't seem any time since it was Christmas and we're getting up to go to 4N in the dark. You can join Nikki Marshall. I don't know if you hear Nikki watching this, but it's a foresight entitled How High Can You Bounce? And I think that's going to be about stubbornness and resilience, and probably fits really well with the sort of things that I've been talking about. So I'm definitely going to be there, Nikki, watching that. So make sure you tune in then, and we've got even more Facebook Live stuff coming up. Join 4N's network leader, Michael Nagels. Are you here, Michael? Back here on Friday at 4 PM for his weekly roundup. He'll have a mix of news, announcements and waffling nonsense. That's what it says here. So you won't want to miss that. And there's also the new 4 Development Live video presentations, providing great tips on how to develop your networking skills. They're running fortnightly on Wednesday evenings. from 8:30 to 9 p.m. So on Wednesday the 5th of July, so that's next Wednesday, you can join Craig Davis. I thought it was going to be Craig David there, but Craig Davis. I'm sure you're better than Craig David. With a For Development Live presentation titled Sell Less to Sell More. So 3 tools to change your powerful networking. So if you'd like the opportunity to present an episode of 4N TV Live or For Development Live, then message 4N on this For Networking community page. They're free to take part and open to all 4N Passport members. Slots are already booked up, so get your request in now. I think I put my request in about in January. This 4N TV Live episode will continue to be available to view anytime, so please share it and add more comments. I'm running a bit early, which is unusual, Martin, isn't it? And Steve, I notice you're on here as well. Usually I'm a little bit late. So let me just say the Swansea 4N's a brilliant group. We have lots of fun, great regional leader Steve White and great area leader Martin Thomas, and we've got a great team, and we're asking people if they'd like to come down on Foresight. So if you'd like to come down on Foresight in Wales, it's not too far from the bridge. Takes about, I don't know, about 45 minutes from the bridge, and we'll provide a really great welcome for you. And we've got slots going forward from about September now. So if you want to come over, you want to meet us, or if you want to ask any of us to come over and Foresight with you, that would be oh, thanks, never early, Bridget. Thank you, Steve. And yeah, just come over and meet us. And I'd love to do foresighting. I put on even more clothes and take even more clothes off, and my actual foresight and move around a bit. So it's been quite interesting doing this one. So yeah, I'm going to sign off early if that's okay, Graham. And I just want to say, hope you've enjoyed it and have a great weekend, and feel free to continue networking right here on the 4N Facebook page. Well, I did pour my vodka out when I was a bag lady. I've now refilled it, and I've enjoyed this so much that I'm not gonna, but it's only 5 to 9 on a Saturday, maybe not. So that's Dr. Bridget. Get in touch if you want to chat, and because I give you lots of prescriptions and injections for success. And see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye.